today's topic of discussion is very interesting as it is on the future of artificial intelligence and medical practice. And speaking on it is none other than the president of Foxy, Dr. Hrishikesh Pai, sir. He is the most appropriate person to talk on this because one of the pillars of his presidential project is Takniki, that is the optimum use of technology, learning and using technology for women's health. I request, please project Dr. Bapat's CV.
I don't think that I don't need my CV. Don't do. Just introduce
Okay.
me.
Speaking to him would be.
We don't want to waste time.
Yeah. Our own Dr. Kawita Bapat madam, who believes that let's grow together with lot of great ideas, fun and laughter. Requesting madam to introduce Hrishikesh Pai, sir.
So please project the CV. So good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much each and everyone joined today as the Tuesday Tea Time. Thank you so much, Dr. Hrishikesh Pai, for being with us. This is a very simple program. We want to teach people learn simply. A simple things in a simple time in a 20 minutes or 30 minutes so that they can take home message, take our message also. And today, Safe Motherhood Day, we are observing it. It is a raise awareness and importance for the maternal health and advocate the rights of the women and healthy pregnancies we all talk about. And everybody know Dr. Pai is a renowned gynecologist, infertility specialist, and extensive experience in the field of gynae and OBGYN. And he is the person who is promoting women health in all over India, President Foxy, and is nowadays playing a pivotal role in advocating the rights of women, safe, quantity, and the healthcare services, including the maternal health. I'm not going to read all this CV everywhere because every time lot many things, but I love about him is that the point he is going to change this year points are that is the Badlav is a really good, extremely best thing which is needed for our Foxians. And then the Takniki, then the Samruddha Nari and all those points are really, really good. So thank you so much, sir, for giving me the chance to speak today on the subject of our both choices, because you also speak a lot about artificial intelligence everywhere. And this is a future in this thing. This is a very simple dialogue. It's not an examination for me or anyone like that. It's just a dialogue which we will do both of us. And being a Foxy president, once again, thank you so much, sir, for joining this. And what we in India, what I think about this, how we can use this AI, artificial intelligence, in normally predicting, preventing complication in India, because this is the question it's a population of 100 crores in this country. And what if we are talking of very advanced things like artificial intelligence and all those things going on, we talk about. But at the end of the day, really, this artificial intelligence is going to help us in future in a manner, the way it should be, and how we are predicting, preventing, like, for example, any complications during pregnancy. Can we do with the help of AI? Yes, sir.
So first of all, thank you, Dr. Kawita Bapat. She has been our past vice president of Foxy and very dynamic person. And thanks for calling me here on this word, Safe Motherhood Day, to talk about the role of artificial intelligence in, in obstetrics and gynecology and reproductive medicine. First of all, you must know that to give you a perspective about safe motherhood, the maternal mortality rate, which is the number of maternal deaths per 100,000 live births, that is 100,000 pregnancies, how many women die, which was in the olden days quite high, 300-400 per 100,000 in India, like all over the other countries in the world. And slowly with the development in our country and a lot of the state and central governments dedicating a lot of money, expenditure, care to maternal health, because they knew that one of the important parameters to gauge the progress of the country is maternal mortality. Just like GDP is an important parameter, growth rate of the country is an important parameter, dollar value of the rupee is an important parameter, educational status of country is important. Similarly, in health, maternal mortality rate is an important parameter. And they said that if we bring down the maternal mortality rate, obviously the country's position in the world and also our own responsibility to our patients will be enhanced and underlined. That is why the SDG goals were set by the United Nations, and their goal was by 2030 to bring down the maternal mortality rate to 70 per 100,000 live births. our maternal mortality slowly has gone and come down to 97 per like 100,000. And in certain countries like Norway, and in Norway it is 1.6, and in New Zealand it is 1.7, or one of the others. In United States it is around 23. In Kerala state it is 20. In Maharashtra it is 30. And so overall in India it is 97. But recently I was in Dubai for the WHO, World Health Organization meeting on PPH, and there the overall maternal mortality in the world has stagnated at 230 per 100,000. And so our country has really gone very fast down.
Yes,
And I think that by 2030 we'll be at 50 per 100,000, because Modi ji and all our central and state government, they are very, very focused on it. They know that women are very important to our country in all senses of the term. And so maternal mortality, and so there's another mortality also which is being looked at, is the cancer cervix, cancer mortality. So these are the two main agendas of the government, to bring down the MMR because of pregnancy. And you'll be surprised, you know how many pregnancies take place in India every year? 30 million. Last year it was 26 million. This year it is 30 million. So it is a big industry.
Very big number. Very big number.
Baby making is a big industry. And so now with this maternal mortality, as I told you, as Kawita has told you, one of my slogan is Badlav, that is change, and it is defined by integration. And then Samanta is equality. For everyone, you should be equal. For men and women, for well-off and not so well-off women, for urban and rural women. So equality is very important in getting treatment. And third is technology. So what India has done, and if that was reflected even in the COVID, because 2 days back I was in Patna for the conference, and Honorable Ravi Shankar Prasad, our minister, was there, and he was telling us how the COVID vaccination was done. So the Aadhaar card linkage was done, and COVID vaccination. Otherwise, how would we have been able to cover 200 crore people and vaccinate them in record time? So the technology. And how do you do technology? Can you sit down on a computer and do one by one technology? No, it's not possible. We'll need a lot of people. That is why, in order to replace this and increase the competition power, we need a new technology, and that is artificial intelligence.
Amazing. Amazing. The way you put the words all together is such a nice way, that how technology and such a big population, and how we are going to progress all these SDG goals with the AI technology. Amazing, sir. But the point comes when the people ask us, as a being a gynecologist, research-oriented people, lot many studies which we do and many things which we do, and artificial intelligence will take over most of the things of ours. That's a fear. That's a fear in our peer also.
So now basically, I would like to first tell you what is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is, so human intelligence is made up of two parts. One is the intelligence in computing day to day, doing accounting, doing this thing, that thing. So that can be done by machines also, and that is artificial. But there's another part of our brain. We think about our emotions, we think about things and we cry. We think we are jealous of others when they do well in their life. You know, we also want, we are greedy. So all those emotions the machine doesn't have. So artificial intelligence is the computational part of the human mind, but the emotional part of the human mind is not there. But the fear is that after about about 80 more years, at around 3000 AD, the machines will start crying and also start being jealous of each other and being greedy of each other, etc., like the humans are. So at present we are in the good phase of artificial intelligence, and one of the things that we have to do now is to regulate the good phase so that we don't enter the bad phase. So it's like nuclear energy. We know nuclear energy is good, but it can also cause an atom bomb. So we have regulated nuclear. There is a Nuclear Energy Regulatory Commission. So many people, many thinkers, including I, also feel that we must have a regulatory body to regulate artificial intelligence so that it is controlled and it doesn't cross the borders. How nuclear energy, we have got safeguards into place. We have We have earmarked space for it. If suppose there's a leak in the nuclear reactor, we immediately can put it down, clamp down, like Chernobyl happened. Similarly, suppose if one of the machine goes out of control, we can clamp it down.
Yeah.
Right. So the artificial so that is why artificial. So, but one of the areas where artificial intelligence will not penetrate is in the healthcare worker area. So, like to give you an example, I had a surgery in the past, and after the surgery, I had to go to the toilet. So, one of my very good friends and assistant, Ashok, he took me to the toilet. So that taking to the toilet, machine can't do. He held me gently. He took me to the toilet. So that is the part, the healthcare worker part, which the machine can do. And that's why they feel, even surgery, how can the machine operate? We need, even if you do robotic surgery, you need a human to operate the robotic arms. At some point, yes, AI will creep in. Suppose if there's a robotic surgery and you will be able to at some point do dissection, and AI will also, if suppose someone like me is there, a bad surgeon, and I'm doing roughly the robotic surgery, machine will control based on my power. This doctor is really bad, but AI will come in and control that power of mine and make my dissection beautiful, like Kawita Bapat does vaginal hysterectomy. I will also be able to do it. So the machine, so the combination of the artificial intelligence and human intelligence will create the idea. So many people feel that the machine can be regulated and AI can be regulated and used in our day-to-day practice as a complementary rather than a competitive kind of system.
So that we, at the end of the day, we always want to have a control over it.
We are the bosses ultimately.
We should be always the boss, because once we give away the, we can give the data, we can do the learning thing, we can have a machine, we can give the everything over there, but the emotional part, the heart part should be with us. Am I right? You're right. But actually, every time, you also talk about artificial intelligence in infertility, you talk about the preterm labor, you talk about so many, and you are doing so many futuristic in your own IVF center, doing so many, bringing so many new machines and everything into it. But sir, at the end of the day, being as a President Foxy, what I feel, what message we should give that while to the general Foxians, that if we'll use the artificial intelligence, how can we reach to the unreached people? What I feel it, like for the cervical cancer, for the, what you can say, the decisions making into the reproductive things, or referring the patients. So will this artificial intelligence will be useful for all of them?
Yeah, so basically, for example, what we have to do is how we can, so for example, in our country, the biggest problem is a lot of the population is in rural areas and they are in uncontactable places, like, they are hilly, and, our beloved Prime Minister is creating the roads, but he cannot reach them that fast. He has to balance, there's not, money is limited in our house, so we not spend everything on the road. So it will take us 10, 15, 20, 30 years to do the last mile connectivity. And because of that, the people who stay in that last mile connectivity areas are going to be at a disadvantage. So we have to utilize the healthcare workers and the machine technology, telemedicine. And so now, for example, if a healthcare Asha worker goes and puts a speculum in the vagina and sees the cervix, but she may not know what is that cervix. So, but if there's a photo of that cervix and it goes to the central server, then we can pick up a early lesion of cancer, which is already being done now. These technologies are available. And what does AI do? AI has got a component, it is called machine learning. Means what? Every time a photo comes and then later on, the Asha worker took the photo and ultimately they did a biopsy and they found out that this particular cervix, which looked like that on the photograph, was a cancer. So then the machine will start correlating. This kind of photo was a cancer. So as the more cancer and non-cancer lesions come into the machine server, it will self-process and evolve the strategy. So it will learn from all these things and it will come to a better and better learning. So suppose we started doing this, applying this technology, let's say this year. After 10 years, machine will quickly, so the chance of false positive and false negative will be very less 10 years down the line, because now the machine will have a data of millions and millions of photos and biopsy correlation, so it can quickly pick up a cancer and a non-cancer lesion. So that is the advantage of AI. So utilizing AI, we don't have to have a Dr. Pai or Kawita Bapat going to that last mile in the village. We are not going to go. So we can just do that photo, and that can similarly ultrasound, for example, a woman is there and there can be a sonography technology that can transmit, and the machine only can see the ultrasound and tell Baba there is a problem. Shift the patient to a district hospital. There is a problem. So machine will be able to replicate, and because how many people we will train countries. Just 3 weeks back, our country became the most populous country in the world. We overtook even China.
Yes.
So
we are proud of it. We are proud of it.
We are proud of that. We have the power of now. What is the difference between us and China? We have grown in a democratic fashion.
Correct.
So, last 75 years, we have grown fighting with each other. We have reached this level by fighting, not by physical fighting, by arguing, debating, disagreeing, dissenting, and then coming to a conclusion. So that is the best way of evolving. So our country has evolved in a very, very uniform manner, in a very good manner. At the same time, we also have respected our nature, climate. We didn't have put factories like mad and destroyed our climate. So I feel that sometimes our lethargy in being too efficient in building factories is good for us, because one thing that we get advantages, we get the climate. So more factories will get less climate. So we are growing in a democratic way, in a pace which is green. We need to go in a green fashion, and our leaders have understood that, and our leaders want to grow, but not to at the cost of our environment. So all these things are very important. Coming back to our discussion, so the whole AI system is based on what is known as convoluted neural network, which is like the brain only, but it's not an actual brain. It is a virtual brain that is projected, and it's done through all cloud computing and servers, because with so much of AI needs a lot of memory, and with memory comes heat. Memory generates heat. So we have to use data and cloud computing. So of course, there is a downside. With what is the downside, which I always think about? I say that the carbon footprint goes up. More, see, in the olden days, we used to do it by the brain. So our carbon footprint, now we do it with a machine. So when suppose this computer is running, somewhere there is energy being spent, and that energy is coming from fossils or from water, hydroelectric, and it is generating carbon. So I personally feel that we need to minimize our dependence on the computers. Most of the thing we should do with a laborious process. Otherwise, what will we do in the future if there are no jobs? So we need to start drying our clothes in the sun rather than using a washing. See, we have gone through the circle. Let's go back to the circle, and only for important life-saving or efficiency thing we should use the machine, because every time you use a machine, you use electricity. And every time you use electricity, you burn somewhere some carbon and generate some carbon, cut some tree down. So that is very important to understand. So we need to, because we have to give our children, we should give children, our legacy should be to leave our children a wonderful environment, more than anything else, more than the Facebook, more than the Instagram, more than the artificial intelligence. What we need to leave behind for our children and their children's children is wonderful climate.
Oh my God. Instead of putting our all thoughts on the artificial intelligence, you have drawn this all discussion towards the best footprints and the great environment. Really, it's a really needed, rather than putting all our efforts into the artificial. Still, one, two questions for you, sir. That's one is that you are having a great love for the infertilities and everything. And so many things already being done in artificial intelligence, and many more in the future you are going to bring to this country. So everybody will like to listen about the fertility options or the infertility options through AI for our.
So, Kawita, just application wise, AI can be used for in obstetrics for predicting preterm birth. You can use it. You can use it in obstetrics for diagnosing cancers also. Now you can do pap smear. The machine takes the photo and sort the pap smears out. So because human can make error, So that all that can be done by the AI. Then even prediction, there are many papers now where they can predict whether she will go for a vaginal birth or a cesarean, which is good also. And I feel at some point in time, if we can feed the parameters of the partogram and the machine can tell us that, okay, can go for a delivery or vaginal delivery, it would be good for us so that it will help us to, somehow we need to kind of make some effort to bring our section rates down, maybe little bit, but I know that we are not doing an unindicated, but yes, if we can bring the section rate down by 5% also, it will be happy because everyone, our society wants it, our governments want it. So we can always, so that machine will be able to, AI will be able to help us in this. We will be able to do data gathering already. There's a lot of data gathering and automatic, because suppose we gather, suppose all the 30 million people at labor room data connection. Already UNICEF has done it in, it's called Mantra app. It is, we have done it, Foxy and UNICEF and UP government has done it in UP. Now, if that app is now expanded to everyone, because we have requested UNICEF to do that expansion and application. Suppose we start getting data, huge amount of data. How do you compute that data?
Correct.
Who will do it? Have an AI system.
Absolutely.
So that with that computation of data, we can say, acha, with this you give tranexamic acid, at this time you will be able to decrease the bleeding. If you can predict that this patient will go for preterm, you can put her in the district hospital and give her total bed rest tocolysis. If you think that this person will go into PPH, we can keep arrangements and transfer them to the district hospital. So the AI will, so that will help us in the obstetric. Similarly, in the infertility part, see the biggest part at present where AI is helping the infertility is in two areas. In we do egg freezing. So when we do egg freezing for the future, normally patients ask me, doctor, how many eggs should I freeze? So I said, tell them 10 to 12 eggs you need to freeze so that later on 10 years down the line, when you get married and you want to have kids, and I thought the eggs, at least if I have 10, 12 eggs, then I'll be able to have 5, 6 embryos and I'll be able to do 2 embryo transfers and try to give you a pregnancy of about 30% per transfer. So 60% chance of pregnancy. So more eggs you freeze, more chance you have to have a child in the future. But with AI now, we can take the photo of the oocytes and we can export it to the server, and server predicts whether these eggs are good quality or not. And if there are less, suppose she has 10 eggs, but the server said, no, the quality is not good, we can do one more cycle, freeze 10 more eggs. So we have 20 eggs instead of 10, 12, which we normally would freeze, because in this particular patient, the egg quality is not that great. So AI helps us to, predict how many cycles or how many eggs we need to freeze so that she can have a good chance of pregnancy in the future. But the second part of the AI in our field is in the field of selecting the embryo, because most people, most countries in the world now, they like to put only one embryo. So obviously, if you put one embryo, pregnancy rate will be lesser. So if you can identify a better embryo, suppose you have got 5 blastocysts and you want to put only one at a time, then if you can put the best blastocyst, she not only has a best chance of pregnancy, but her multiple pregnancy rate also goes down. So her complication rate will go down. So the selection of the embryo, and normally now with the photograph, so we can take a photograph of the blastocyst, or we can take a video in an embryoscope of the developing embryo. That with on that basis, the artificial intelligence can grade the embryo and tell you which, suppose we have 5 blastocysts, they'll tell you which blastocyst to put, so you will get the best chance of pregnancy. So selection of the embryos will be good. And then at some point, we have what is now in my lab in IVF, every month we do what is known as KPI. KPI is key performance index. So my embryologist says, sir, can I tell you, this time we had so many eggs, our egg fertilization rate was this, egg injury rate was, embryo formation. So like some months it is bad, then we look at, is there any problem? Gas mein problem hai kya? Filter mein problem hai kya? Was there a problem in the embryologist? So that can be now done by the AI. Later on. So I don't have to use my brain. She doesn't have to come to me. She tells, AI will say, Dr. Pai's embryo transfer this month was not good enough. He did a bad transfer. Because of that, the pregnancy outcome was less. You had 5 incubators in your lab. That particular one incubator is fluctuating too much. You need to change it. So these linkages will be used for, but as a human being, I will have to, I used to say, अच्छा ये इधर ये embryo में कैसा था, ये incubator में embryos were, how were the quality, ये incubator में कैसा था, and I have to use my brain to come to a conclusion which the machine will automatically
give you that decisions. So you will have more success rate.
Dr. Pai, इसको ये culprit है, उसको हटाओ. Yeah, Dr. Pai, you have become too old now. You please stop doing embryo transfer. So you have to retire now. Sorry.
And not like that. The AI will add many more things for doing better things, and that will make you work more and more. That's my promise to you. So the clinicians' pregnancy success rates will be more, as you say. And we talked about the role in OBGYN, actually the monitoring, the surveillance, the parturition, the preterm labor, and sonography, as we talked about, ki udhar hoega or idhar we can see the thing.
So the developmental, Kavita, developmental agencies are now looking at these smart solutions, which will enable them, because India is rural India and hilly India, the Northeast is a very hilly process. But I was telling someone that we will also have drone taxi now. कोई सीधा ड्रोन टैक्सी जाके उसको उठा के डिलीवरी के लिए
बुला लेगा उसको. We'll pick it up. That will also be regulated and governed by AI in a few days. Very smartly they will pick it up and take it out. And same with the GDM, IVF, cancer screening, uroanalogy. We all love to this subject in a way. But just one last question which I love to ask, because being I asked by everyone, अपने को ethical issue क्या क्या होगा सर इसके?
Ethical issues are many, but I feel that the most important thing is that the job loss is a very big issue now. There's a new technology called ChatGPT that has come in, and with that the computer programmers, that ChatGPT is also only a programmer, so a lot of computer job loss is there. So similarly, job loss, one of the biggest problem in our clinics, what is they tell me, is the secretary.
I know, they have become secretary.
अरे सेक्रेटरी किधर नहीं आई नहीं आज, मेरे को हेडेक हो रहा था, मम्मी अच्छी नहीं है, देन फोन नहीं उठाती है, तो वो तो secretary will be replaced. So automatically all the secretarial jobs, the accounting jobs, all that will be gone. So the job loss will be, so we'll have to retrain these people in other jobs. That is going to be, so that's one ethical problem which is there. The second problem I envision is there is security issues. Already you can see that there's a lot of scams happening even in our Foxy.
Yes.
With that scams, not in terms of but someone hacking and
there will be a lot more.
Data hacking is a big issue, which is that the data, how to protect data, and then liability. Just now I remember in 2 years back I had heard that the Marriott hotel chain or some chain, I don't know the exact name, so maybe I'm the wrong. One of the hotel chain, their data got hacked.
Yes.
So because a lot of litigation took place, so data hacking and all these issues are going to be a big problem in the future. So we will have to be. So my only problem is we have created a more of a carbon footprint.
Yes.
So my problem with the machines or Facebook or so once upon a time we used to be. I remember when I was in holidays in the school, the biggest problem I had in the school holidays was bore. Mummy, me bore ho gaya, main kya karu? Sir, my mother used to say, "Arey jaake khel jara, jaake biti dandu khel, lagori khel." So we used to play physical games and all. Now we are all the time on our internet and our computers, which is generating that green, that carbon footprint. So we need to have a moment where we know that the machines, the computers are very important for our future, but we must, wherever we can cut down, we should cut down on them so that we can save the climate.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we are done with it, and basically the message which everybody should get, that the AI is a promising future, which I feel always. It overcomes the diagnostic challenges also and improving the treatment modalities also. And there is lot development is yet to be needed in AI, and especially for the rural unreached people, which we feel about. And we, the clinicians.
Kavita, in your field also, one more thing with the machine assisted surgeries will become the norm, and there'll be complementary surgeries, so that haptic, even your clamp will be haptic. So
they will do biceps.
You can look at the clamp and it will give you the signal exact pressure.
How much to clamp, and how much the vessel should be sealed, how much the current should go, everything will be that then. But we should embrace. Correct. But I appreciate about your concern about the carbon footprints and the concern about the environment. But in the end of the day, clinicians, we should embrace this type of technologies, because we are not going to be escape ourselves by saying that I don't believe in the latest things, because latest things are there adjoint for our decision making. So thank you so much. I am so blessed today that you came today, and the subject which you are master and you love this subject. That's why I thought that you are the right person for the Learn Simply. I think the message to everyone that the small short video of this will be helpful. Thank you so much.
Just thanking you, but ultimately just now I did the 80, one of the more difficult. She had already had a child from me previous season and came for the second embryo